It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, here in Phoenix, Arizona. Now down in Tucson, Arizona, where, I don't know, I guess you got to put up with the man even more than we do, and we get our share here, I'll tell you. Terry Bressi from checkpointusa.org. I'm trying to convince him to write an article for the digital magazine we've been yakking about. Sierra's putting it together now. We're almost done. Got a bunch of beautiful, and we'll have it done this weekend. Now, what we're going to do is I want to pick it up where we left off. He's driving home from work at Kit Peak, where he's, does all kind of scientific stuff. He's going to save the planet, all right? He's coming down around a turn. He's saving it for, truth, justice, and American way. You know, we're doing this for a reason. We want to keep, we want to thrive and survive and keep breathing in and out and not be, robots. So we're coming around the turn. Oh, there's a robot interface down there saying, "Oh, the slaves get in line. Get in line. What are we getting in line for? Who was there telling you to get in line?"
Well, we had U.S. Border Patrol, U.S. Customs. This was before the Homeland Security Act, which combined the two, and the Tohono O'odham Police Department.
Now, the Tohono O'odham, see, that's one thing that's interesting, and we could see what was coming. It was how far away from the Mexican border is this stop?
This is over 40 miles north of the Mexican border.
Now, does this highway run to the border or parallel the border?
It parallels the border. It runs east-west, never intersects the border at any point.
Okay, so this is my point. We're in southern Arizona. We're 40 miles away from, the border. I mean, you want to do this border thing, go to the border. So then we're 40 miles away, and is it on a highway that comes from Mexico? No. It goes from Tucson to Kit Peak through an Indian reservation. So being on an Indian reservation, that in and of itself kind of like, what the heck are they doing here? Is because they had this kind of quasi-jurisdictional pinky permission slip from whatever thing going on, of which you challenged and found out a lot. Now, we'll get to that. But when you were stopped, you pull up, and then what happened?
Well, I pulled up and I started asking questions, and of course that always takes law enforcement agents, by surprise there, because I had a bunch of questions, and they didn't like people asking them questions. And I asked them, well, what's going on here? And they said it was a sobriety checkpoint. And I said, well, why is there a U.S. Customs agent standing on the front line with you, interacting with seized individuals if you're looking for drunk drivers? Because U.S. Customs and Border Patrol don't have any jurisdiction over local sobriety laws. And, that kind of put him back a little bit there. And we went back and forth with regards to the issue. And eventually he walked away from me and turned me over to a detective. The detective said, well, I've been watching you and listening to you, and I can tell that you haven't been drinking because you're talking coherently. I can't smell any alcohol or anything else. But he said, this area is known for smuggling illegal aliens and drugs, and everyone must be identified before we're allowing them through. So the real purpose of the checkpoint comes out, and they were, blatant about it. He blurted it right out. And I said, well, obviously you're not too familiar with the U.S. Supreme Court limitations on legitimate checkpoint operations, because in the year 2000, City of Indianapolis versus Edmond, the court struck down general law enforcement and drug checkpoints as illegal. So what they were doing here is they were trying to masquerade an illegal operation by claiming that it was for sobriety, while also doing all of these other things, which is what they really wanted to do. And they even liked me challenging them on this level even less. And before I knew it, there was about 8 or 9 officers and agents surrounding my vehicle, hands on the guns, get out of the car now. Before I knew it, my door was opened on the driver's side by a couple of officers. They reached in, unbuckled my seatbelt, dragged me out of the vehicle, put me down on the asphalt, handcuffed behind my back, dragged me off to the side of the road. And that's where I sat for about 3 hours watching operations for the rest of the night there.
Okay. So there we go. How is it that you got away? I mean, did you have to go to jail? Did somebody come pick you up? Did somebody take pity on you? They're just teaching you a lesson. How did this end?
Sure. Well, I think at first they were really expecting to find something illegal, either in my record or in the vehicle or something like that, because they're just not used to people, reacting that way. And when they found nothing in the vehicle, and they, ran my driver's license after they, pulled it out of my pockets and found no outstanding wants or warrants or anything, basically, they were a little bit befuddled. And they wanted me to sign. About 45 minutes into it there, they came over and said, well, look, we're going to let you go if you sign this ticket here. We're going to charge you with disobeying an order from a police officer and I don't know, backing up traffic or something like that. And I said, well, I don't have any intention of signing. So they said, well, we can't transport you away from here because all our men are busy with a checkpoint, so you're going to have to stick around for a while. And in the meantime, I gave them the name of my supervisor because I was driving a university vehicle at that time. So it wasn't my vehicle. I felt obliged to make sure the word get out there. And they called my supervisor. The supervisor sent a couple people out to retrieve the vehicle, but that took several hours. So I was out there for about 3 hours overall. And during that time frame, I get to watch a lot of the illegal operations. But when my coworkers came out, the police allowed them to talk to me, and they convinced me that it would be better for me to just go ahead and sign the ticket, and then I could prepare, a defense and get home and do all the other stuff. So I agreed to sign the ticket, and then they uncuffed me, and they allowed me to go on my way at that point.
Now this, usually when people refuse to sign traffic tickets like this in the past, they go, okay, I witnessed that he refused to sign. The cop signs, gives it to you anyway, and goes on. I mean, that's not a possibility anymore?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I think in this case, they were charging me with 2 criminal misdemeanors. Okay, so I think...
So you're either going to jail or you were signing.
Right. I think if it's a civil misdemeanor, then you don't have to sign. They'll just witness it and that you were served and then let you go on your way. But if it's a criminal misdemeanor, then I think they require you to sign, and if you don't, then they haul you to jail.
All right. Well, they were breaking new ground with you. All right.
Yeah.
Because this is all new stuff. Keep in mind, this is December 2002. This is just over a year from 9/11. They already had this plan, man. I tell you what scared me more than anything else, because this happened in December, and I think we had you on in February of 03. I just started doing radio.
Yeah.
And what happened was the photographs of the equipment that they're using, it was obvious that they were creating an entire industry around this. These like cherry picker, it's like a trailer with a cherry picker, what would you call those? Guard tower kind of thing.
Yeah, portable guard towers.
So these portable guard towers, you have a couple of SUVs, Suburbans, a little black and colored kind of, got the little cherries on top. They're going down the highway, and all of a sudden, they split off, boom, go to both sides of the road. These come up with people on and say, we got us an instant roadblock. Terry understood exactly what was going on and decided to challenge it and started something for the rest of us. Talk more about it. You need to know this stuff. We come back in just a little bit.